Hi there, I am Laurie Delk.
Hi, I am Kathryn. RaRa is in the house. Asaro Myers.
We are the Gratitude Girls here with you tonight.
Yes, we are. And we are speaking to you from two different countries, from two different cities. And we have a special guest tonight. I don't know if our audience knows, but my guest is Laurie Delk. Laurie, who's your guest?
My guest is Kathryn Asaro Myers.
I'm so honored that you said yes. Once a year, if we're lucky, we get to do this, Laurie. And I'm so glad that we have a chance to talk to each other for more than 3 minutes. I'm really excited about that for a few reasons. Number one, if our audience doesn't know this, this is Laurie Delk's birthday month. And happy birthday to you, Laurie. You are another year smarter and more beautiful and more radiant than you were the year before, with many, many more to come. Happy, happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
I love the fact that tonight I get to ask you questions and you get to ask your favorite things, some impromptu ideas. But I think it's been in the works for about a year now. You know, when I want to talk to you and ask you things, and I think our audience, it's like a check-in. You know, you go and you check up once a year and you get your eyes checked, and we go for physicals and we clean the house for the spring or for the holidays. But Gratitude Girls, you know, needs to check in with our audience on what we're doing and how we're doing it and why. So with your permission, what I'd like to do tonight is take an opportunity, excuse me, of course, I have a visitor in my throat. I'd like to ask you a question and then have you answer, and then you ask me a question, and then we'll do that back and forth. I think we'll have time for 3 questions and 3 answers, and then we'll give our new audience and our existing audience an overview about what's going on. What do you think about that?
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, great. Awesome. So first, let's tell our audience, for those who are here for the first time, what are we doing here? Why are we here? What is the Gratitude Girls, and why are these 2 wonderful ladies sitting here talking about gratitude? How did we meet? Did we meet in a supermarket? What happened?
Yeah, so I love telling this story. So yes, Kathryn and I are in a company, a greeting card and gifting company called Send Out Cards. And we actually didn't know each other. And our company gives an award at our company convention once a year. And normally it's only given to one person. And it's whatever the theme is for that year. And so 2013, the theme was gratitude. And so our CEO gives all these different hints and attributes and accolades about the person he's going to announce, and then calls them up on stage, and there's lots of rah-rah and everything going on about everything. And RaRa, Kathryn, was the winner. And so that was wonderful. And that was the first year that I believe that there was ever a so-called tie. And then he went on to give some other information and then called my name. And so Kathryn and I actually are on different teams in the company, and we met on stage together and winning this award. And so afterwards, they help you to guide you to walk off the stage, and then you sit together in this special section that they put you in. And Kathryn and I started talking, and we just clicked, and within like 3 minutes, gratitudegirls.com was born.
It was that quick, Laurie. It really was. You know, they talk about things like love at first sight, our eyes meeting, things happening in a New York minute, those expressions. Now, that's what I believe happened to us in a split second, although I believe it was somewhere in the grander picture for us. We happened to be at the right place at the right time. And when we saw each other, we knew something was going to happen. And we felt it. not just sharing this wonderful award, but sharing the stage and then being able to look at you, hear your story, and to have the introduction by Cody Bateman. Because if the expression, "you're as good as your introduction," is as true as I believe it is, then that was a day that changed my life forever.
Right. Absolutely. Yes. And I still get chills thinking about that day, you know, that one, we were both on stage. We got this amazing award in front of thousands of people. But then on two, that we met together that day, and that was it. It was just, you know, it was just like that, you know, like some people say the love at first sight thing. It was, you know, and it was love best friends at first sight, right?
That's right. There's absolutely there's no question about it. We weren't letting that go. Like Laurie and I were in that moment, and we were not letting that moment go. We wanted it to live and to vibrate. And why we're here today is I don't know if it makes sense to say we're the living legend of a product of that occurrence. We would like gratitude to keep going. I mean, we live gratitude, as so do many of our people. If you're in the audience, probably you are as well. And we wanted to take it a step further so that we could share our time and our friends and people we don't know. And if you're watching and we don't know you, please, by all means, get in touch with us and to assist people to share their story. Because life is collecting stories, really. And sometimes we're grateful for things that you would be completely shocked at. You know, things happen and we say, why would you be grateful for that? And then what comes of it is something else completely. So gratitude isn't always about, you know, I'm so glad I'm this height, or I'm so glad I'm here. It's about the way things evolve and how we cope with them. So my goal and Laurie's goal is to have a platform, to have an arena, to have a sacred place for someone to come and share their story and for you to listen to the stories. So I thought that we'll be able to talk a little bit about each other and ourselves. So I'm speaking to you from Ontario, Canada. At this moment, we now live in Toronto. We used to live in Toronto. We like moving. So I'll tell you a little bit about us real quick. One sentence. We're what you call movers and shakers. We see something, we want it, we go after it, we go. That's the way it is. That's our life. So I'm here in Ontario, Canada, and it's a gorgeous, beautiful day. We're in our new home, and I have no idea how long we're going to be here for, but I would like to say that it's a wonderful city and it's a wonderful time for us. Laurie, where are you? Can you tell our audience?
Yes, I am the stable one. I've been in the same house for 30 years. And I am out in the country, about an hour south of Nashville. And so I love visiting the city and travel all the time with all kinds of wonderful, neat places with Kathryn, as well as in my company and different things. But I always love coming home to the country and seeing the deer as my neighbors and and the pretty landscapes and the hills and things like that.
I think, Laurie, when I grow up, I want to settle down. So I'm thinking maybe for my 60th birthday, I probably shouldn't talk about my age, right? For my 60th birthday, which is coming up real soon, maybe we're going to settle down. You know, we're just like butterflies. So yeah, I would love to know what it's like to be in a home for 20 years. As a child, I was only in a home for 15 years. So I don't know. I've never been past the 15 mark, or nine years, I think. Once I lived in a house, but there were like two houses, so we went back and forth. But yes, so that's a little bit about Laurie and I. That's how we roll. We roll deep and fast and strong. So Laurie, let me ask you a question about a day in the life of Gratitude Girls. First of all, I have bright lights so you can see me. And it's really bright and I'm light sensitive, so I'm going to keep my glasses on so that I could actually really see better. So I want to explain that. But Laurie, let's talk about your day. Could you tell me one thing that you did today, or tell us, and why?
One one thing. Wow. So I've done 1,000 things today. Let's see. One of the things I always start off with, and I'll kind of say a couple because I do them at the same time, but so my alarm goes off at 6:30 every morning. Even though I don't necessarily have to get up at a certain time, I just do believe in being diligent and getting into the day. And so my alarm goes off at 6:30 and I am on the treadmill by 7 a.m. And I usually walk for an hour or two. It depends. During that time is when I do prayer and meditation, and I do personal development, and I do part of my social media interactions. And so I kind of do all that within that 1 to 2 hours. So depends on when I get it done, but my scheduled time every day is from 7 to 9 a.m. And so I do just a little bit of those different things while I'm walking. And sometimes it finishes a little bit early, and sometimes it goes right till 9, but either way I'm done by 9. So I usually walk anywhere from 3 to 5 miles. I walk very slow because I have my treadmill turned into a desk for me. And I have my laptop there, and I have my phone, and I have my headset in case I need to do that also sometimes. But that's when I do a lot of, I do some reading and some personal development audios and videos and my social media interactions.
Well, you're right. You do a lot of things. That's very admirable to have that type of discipline and desire, effort, commitment. I love hearing about that. I love it. I love it. Okay, I'll let you ask me the same question or any question, whatever you want.
Yes. Yeah. So tell me the day in the life of Kathryn, the gratitude girl.
Okay, well, today, every day it's different, but there is something new that we've embarked on. I guess it's about 24 days now. So that's new. And as much as it's new, it's old because I don't do anything for too long, as you know. About 24 days ago, I decided that I was going to do something different for my health. And I wanted to take it to a different level because I felt that I was not at my optimum health. I had things that had gone on, and I thought I can feel more energetic. You know, I could feel better. I could live healthier, stronger. So I made up my mind that I was going to take Moksha Yoga. Now, last month, our guest, Lynn Kowalski, talked about how she had just come back from Moksha Yoga. And here's how it worked. Lynn came to visit me, and my husband came to visit us in our previous home in St. Catharines. And she took me by the hand and said, we're going to go to Moksha Yoga. And I said, okay. And she said, we're going to go twice. She was here for 3 days, and we went twice. And I thought it was awesome. And when she left, I said, I'm going to go. And, you know, we were moving and selling our house, so that just didn't happen. Well, I'll tell you right now, nothing would get in the way if we were moving and selling our house. So about 25 days ago, I said to my husband, I'm going to go to Moksha. He said, okay, I'll drop you off. You know, take a ride, I'll drop you off. And I thought, all right. And I went in and I came out and I said, you know, really, you might want to look into it. He said, well, I used to be really good at yoga. You know, I did that for so long. And I used to own a gym when we were not together. So I said, let's go find another studio, because I looked on the map and I realized that the one that was really close to our house was not the one I went to by a couple of minutes. So and I had this vision. I envisioned going on the second floor. I envisioned seeing, you know, the beautiful, like that part of the city. It was in my mind's eye. So we find this studio on Bloor West. And we walk up the stairs, and as we're walking up, I'm thinking, I really hope it has a nice area in the front, and I hope I see plants. And I'm talking to myself in my head, and we walk in, and there's this big area with couches. There's plants. There's a small library, and there are these two awesome girls. It was a Sunday afternoon, and they were talking to us. And I knew in that moment, I looked at David, and he said, I will come here. So a day in the life, every single day we go to hot yoga. Now, you know, getting up, getting dressed, we're up also at 6:30 because in order to go to hot yoga, even if you drink a glass of water, you know, you do know your body's going to be in that upside down position. So you really can't put too much in your stomach. And if you do, it better be at least 2 hours before. And if the class starts at 9, so do that math. So we're up early, and we have recently carved out a huge chunk of time, which used to be my work time. I used to work at 6 in the morning and 6:30, and I still can work at 6 and 6:30, but by a certain time I have to stop working because I have to get in the car and go to Moksha, which is a cell phone free zone. This is totally new to me. Cell phone free. I leave it in the car because you can't bring it into a hot yoga studio. That's for sure. There's no reason to do that. And just to give you one more thing, because that wasn't enough for me. My plan was 30 days of Moksha hot yoga, and then month 2, take a second challenge, so to speak, and add a gym membership to it. So starting October 4th, we will be adding not only yoga, but we'll be adding a gym 2 days a week to our 7-day-a-week practice, which is going to carve out additional time. But we're going to do this. And I'm going to do this all because I have a dress to wear in April. I have 2 dresses to wear in April. I just told you it's for my health, but I thought I'd throw in a little something funny there because the story might get boring. So that's it. My hot yoga. That's a big deal because it's not something I ever did before. And to give it a good plug, I love it. I can't imagine not doing that. I understand what Lynn Kowalski is talking about now after 24 days. You get hot, you get sticky, your hair is never the same. Your hair only looks good one day out of the month if you're lucky. It takes for hours if you want to redo it. But I mean, I've committed to doing it. So yeah, so that's it. So that's hot yoga. All right. That's all I'm going to say about it. The results will be in the good glowing results I have for my health and how I feel, and I will keep you posted on it. Okay, let me ask you another question. If this were the end of the day, like for me, it's 9:47 p.m., so I still will do things because I'm an early bird and a night owl, and we work on all different time zones, you know that. But aside from that, if there were just one thing more that you can do, and assuming that there were only one more thing that you can do based on time or effort, what's the one thing more that you would like to do today that you have not yet done?
Yeah, so same thing, always trying to cram millions of things in. But one thing that I do every day before I go to bed, actually 2 things, same thing. I'm always doing at least, I can't just do one thing at one time. But every day, one thing that I do before I go to bed is I write in my gratitude journal and I read 15 minutes in an actual book. So I do lots of training and things through audio and through video and things like that when I'm at my computer or on my treadmill in the morning. But every night before I go to bed, I have a book that sits on my spot on my other pillow in my bed. And I get ready for bed and climb into bed and I turn my little light on my cell phone and I read for 15 minutes. And then I open up my gratitude journal and I write for about 15 minutes. I always write 5 things that I am specifically grateful for that day. And so it's, a lot of times like people think about different things, you're always grateful for, your house, your vehicle, your kids, your family, things like that, but that's generic. So what I do is I write specific things that day that happened that I'm grateful and thankful for. And then I just journal. I just write for, about 15 minutes. And during that time, I'm also kind of saying my bedtime prayers and a little bit of meditation there as well. But that's kind of my nightly ritual.
Yes, you are definitely multitasking. And that sounds like a great ritual, because I know we talked about that before, about us, we both write in our journal. That's awesome. And that's a great habit. And I kind of feel like you could teach people to do that, you know, to let people know that the habit is kind of what the body and the mind craves after a while. So that's awesome. What does your gratitude journal look like, if you don't mind me asking? Is it pink? Is it pink and glittery?
It is pink and sparkly.
All right. Well, you know, and next time we're on the show together, let me show you the journal that I just bought. And it would be really funny if it were the same.
That would be funny.
Yeah, we'll bring our journals out. I mean, I have a few of them, but I just got this new one and I'm almost ready to write in it, because the one I'm in is almost finished. So I'll show it to you. Yeah, thank you for sharing that.
So what are you going to do tonight after our show? One last thing.
Okay, so if I could do one more thing tonight, you know, I would like to connect. I like to connect with people. I really enjoy being engaged. And I, you know, I'm never probably satisfied with the people, you know, not the people that I spoke to, but the amount of people. I would engage with one more person. I probably will do something, but I mean really engage. I'd like to have deep conversations. I really enjoy listening and exchanging ideas, even if we come from different worlds. I like to speak to people that think in a way that I could never fathom thinking, so I could kind of get into their head with, what? How do you mean? How could you do that? What is that all about? I would really want to engage with someone who thinks very differently from me. Not that it would upset me, but I would like to get myself all on the edge of my chair wondering, like, what is that about? And to me, it would be exciting to have someone say to me, let me talk to you about this. I don't know that I will have that one more thing tonight. I'm not too sure. Some people find that, you know, a little bit, how shall I say, forward, you know, because I like to get into conversations. And I don't need to hear a yes or a no. I want to hear, why do you do that? What makes you tick? So that would be my goal for tonight. Maybe after saying it, I'll get the phone call from someone who says, I want to share this awesome idea with you. And, you know, the idea that keeps you from going to sleep, like, wow, that was great. So that would be my one more thing that I would like to do today.
Awesome. Yes. Relationships are important, right? You know, the more that you build them, the more it just incredibly enhances your life. And you just, it's so hard to explain that to people that don't get it, you know, that run their busy life and not really connecting with people. And it's so easy to do because this world is so crazy and so fast and so busy, right? And like, I'm always doing 20 things at one time. I don't know how to do one thing at one time, but I still do that as far as connecting with people. And, you know, and you have to take that time and put the cell phone away for a little bit and turn off the social media. And, you know, that's one of the things that I a lot of times teach, coach, and train on is I don't have notifications on my phone for anything except for my calendar and for texting. And
Right.
even that, though, I can put those away. But, you know, my calendar's for my reminders, because I do live by my calendar, for my appointments because I do stay so busy. But like all the social media pop-ups and the likes and the notifications and the comments, and, you know, I have 2 15-minute time slots a day at most. And that's when I get on social media, and then I'm off. And I don't have it ping me other times because I stay too busy and I don't need that distraction. And especially if I'm with someone, you know, you want to connect with them like we're doing now. Neither one of us are looking at our phones. We are connecting with each other as well as our audience, you know, to give us that time and that building that relationship.
And, you know, Laurie, what I love about what you said about, it's kind of like connecting with someone and disconnecting from the distractions. going into a cell-free zone, we live with building relationships. And when I walk into a room, which is my Moksha Yoga room, the studio, and I know my phone's not with me, it's amazing the amount of attention I give. I talked about the plants and the books. I mean, I can tell you different things that are in a room because I am present. I sit down, I go early enough to have a tea, and I stay. It's an herbal tea, and have an herbal tea most times before I go to actually feel the space and say hello to people. So yes, you're right. Being in the zone and not being distracted and being present, in the here and now. However we do it, however it has to be done. If we need technology, then we're on technology. But if we're with somebody and you're coaching, or we're bridging, I use that term in my business as well. Just hanging out, having a lollipop with somebody, it doesn't matter, whatever we're doing. You want to do it and enjoy it. You don't want to miss it. So thank you. Thank you for that perspective. Now I have another question for you. I'm looking at the time, but I think this is an important question for a couple of reasons. The question that I have for you, it's about, how we feel about us. Now, it's not easy to talk about ourselves. It's not easy to talk about our shortcomings or our long comings or what's not coming or what is coming or what do we have too much of or not enough of. But this is a gratitude show, and we're grateful. I know that we're grateful, and I know that we walk the walk and talk the talk. But I would like to know from you one thing that you really love about yourself. And could you tell us a little bit about what it is? Because if our audience doesn't know you and they don't know that about you, they won't understand it. So if you would be kind enough, and I know it's not your favorite thing, and I'm not asking you to brag, but you're a wonderful, beautiful woman, and you're smart, and you are so many things. Can you share with myself and the audience one thing you love about yourself and elaborate on it? Please.
So I don't know. I guess one thing that is kind of coming to mind is probably something, one of those things I'm grateful and thankful for, and but at the same note is hard to have. And so I guess because of the things that I've walked through. So because of the things that I've walked through that God's allowed in my life, I believe I have a lot more compassion for people and care. And so, but with that has also, opened my heart, not only to be able to help other people, but also to help myself, and to be able to share that love and compassion. I think that I love and cherish the relationships in my life much more deeply than I ever did before. And it's because, because of different things that, different shoes that God's allowed me to walk down different roads the last few years, that I've developed that more. But it's allowed me to also love more deeply with friends, family, and even business associates. I love a lot of my clients too. And, and just develop a lot deeper friendships, and, and that's it. And truly care and have that compassion that, I believe I always had it, but I believe it's developed a lot more deeply the last several years. So I guess that.
Oh, I love that about you too. I love that you can see that in yourself and share that, because loving the people around us and the people around you, we'll keep it to you. Loving the people around you are important, but then realizing that you're loving them deeper. That's an awesome, awesome quality to know about yourself. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. I could see it in your eyes. I can feel it. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for sharing that.
Thank you. So now I'm going to turn the table and I'm going to ask you the same question. I'm not original. I'm just going to copy your questions.
That's okay. What's the question? I forgot already. Oh. Okay. Yeah. That's one thing that I love about myself. You know, I remember learning this word when I was in high school. I probably learned it earlier, but I remember really learning what it meant. And my high school English teacher said that her daughter was tenacious. And I'm like, what is tenacious? Is that a bad thing? And my high school English teacher was married to my high school music teacher. That was a great love story. And I remember her saying, because it was her daughter, and she loved her daughter. Her daughter was 3. And I thought, well, she said she has tenacity. What is that? Do I want that? And that word stuck. Now, I obviously had to have heard the word before, but when I was able to relate it to her daughter, someone she loved, I thought it was a good thing. And I believe that that can be taken a few different ways, but I believe that I have tenacity. And I choose to love it about myself, because it's one of those things that someone can say, boy, you sure are tenacious, or wow, you're really tenacious. And I feel that you can put a bit of a soft voice to it and make it like, oh, I wish I had that. Or, oh my God, I don't want any of my kids to have that. So it's something I choose to love about myself, because it's like silly putty. I can be tenacious in many different ways, depending upon the amount of depth that I can get to at the moment. So in my quest for following my passion for moksha, for my health, for our business, for the people around us, I believe my tenacity is what I am embracing.
Awesome. I love that.
No, thank you. I would like to tell you one thing that I really love about you, because I just think it's important for me to share that with you. It's an exchange, and I have my eye on the time. I love that no matter what, you can adapt at a moment's notice, even though in your script you write that that's not the thing you like. Meaning, if you were to write about yourself, you might write a different story. But the story I see in Laurie Delk is, it doesn't matter, whatever the moment is, you can go with it, do it, embrace it, and get it done better than anybody ever could if they studied it for 8 years and got a PhD on it. I love that on a dime, in a New York minute, you can go with it. Thank you.
Aw, thank you.
You're welcome.
Yes, you definitely know me for what I like and what I don't like. And but then you also have that knack of just pushing me to do whatever you want me to do anyway.
That's what we do. No, that was cute how you said that. It's fun the way that we can communicate with each other and really understand each other, and the way we allow our friendship and our partnership to go. And we, with an open heart and open mind, we both accept what is out there. And that's also an amazing thing for our audience to know, that no matter what is thrown at us, when you are with someone and you have a partner in life or a partner in a project, in a partner for the rest of your life on any level, you know that you can trust that person to go with you, to be beside you, whether it's uphill, downhill, or in a flat prairie land. Your partner is there and beside you. And that's what we have experienced since the last 5 years, that when you decide you're going to be with someone, you be with them. That's the beginning and the end of the story. Whatever happens in between is stuff that happens in between. You're together, and that's a partnership. And the partnership is we're doing it together. And I so honor and cherish the integrity of that we have. And when we can do that in our life and demonstrate to someone that we're rock solid, you know, I could move 1,000 times, you know, as long as I have an internet connection and I'll get to it. There's nothing that's going to stop us. That's the way we are. And that's important. So if you're watching the show tonight and you're wondering a little bit about, you know, what do we do? How do we do it? We made a decision years ago, and that's the premise for which we are living every day. We're not going back on that decision. We made a choice and we're sticking to it. And we're living that. So when you can get someone to really feel you, or when you can get it with someone, I don't mean like get them, like trick them, get them, like get with someone, and you get them there and you make a choice, go with it and decide to go together, even if you decide to change, but go with it. It's an honor and a pleasure to have you and our commitment. And I can't wait to grow old together and find it, because, you know, we're so young, and I'm not getting any older, but I'm not getting any younger. But I really feel like we're in our prime about what we're doing with Gratitude Girls. And I feel that we are timeless and ageless, if that makes sense, because there is a whole wide world out there that sharing gratitude on the level that we're doing right now is one step of the many different ways that we will be able to produce holograms of gratitude all over the world. Does that make sense?
That does make sense. Yes. And that's it, you know, and one of the same thing, one of the things that I love is, you know, people that know me, you know, and I know, you know that, you know, I like everything wrote out and, you know, specified exactly, this is what we're going to do. This is what we're going to say. This is how it's going to go, you know, da, 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 da. And you are more the go with the flow and let's see what happens type girl. But the thing is too, that I think, you know, like in a lot of relationships, so, you know, a lot of people talk about relationships like marriage, which of course is important, but same thing in business relationships. A lot of times that's kind of like a marriage, you know, because you're together a lot. And even though we live in separate countries, we're still together a lot, whether we're on stage on the internet or on stage in person, speaking at an event somewhere, you know, but still and that's it. We always have like a sort of plan to appease my side of what we're going to talk about or what we're going to do or what we're going over with whoever our audience is at the time. But then we also interject your side of the go with the flow and talk about what comes up on our heart. And, but I think that is a lot with what we both are all about too, with the realm of Gratitude Girls, of being able to share from our hearts. And I think that's also why, we are able to connect with each other so well and talk with each other so well, especially when we're talking to our different audiences that we speak to, you know, where we can just touch other people too at different degrees and be able to help other people, you know, in so many different ways because we interact together so well and off the cuff type ways as well.
Yes, we could be in any room, in any country, at any moment's notice with a script and be ready for it. But at a moment's notice, if someone said, this is who just walked in the room, could you address it? We would be able to address it.
Right, absolutely. And we've done that so many times. We've done that so
we have, and it's so fun. It's so much fun. If our audience, when you're here listening, whether it's a replay or you're live tonight, if you're going to catch us, you're going to listen a little bit later or tomorrow morning or whenever, think about the people in your life right now. I always like to do this when I'm in a room, Laurie. I'd like to say, who's the person that came to your mind? Think of someone. Who are you grateful for? So think of someone. If you could get something out of this show tonight, if there's one thing, my wish for you would be to think of someone that has impacted your life, someone that you're grateful for, and let them know not only that you're grateful for them, but why. Let them know what they did so that they could have that heart-to-heart connection. Whether you're face-to-face or you're in another country or however you can let them know that. So I'm thinking of Susan, and I want to let Susan know that I am so grateful for her because she brought me food on a day that I was hungry and she didn't know it. That's not a real story, but whatever it is, let someone know that, because it could be a day that you think it's just a little something, but it means the world to people, and we just don't know unless we share it with them. So if you could get one thing out of this show tonight, think of someone and reach out to them and share with them what exactly they did, and they'll remember it, I'm sure. Right, Laurie?
Right, absolutely. Yes, and don't put it off, because you never know what's going to happen, and you're going to forget because life is busy. We're all busy, right? And so, yeah, don't put it off. Text them, email them, call them, FaceTime them, visit them in person, send them a card, send them a note, whatever it is, but actually reach out and try to do that with, one person a day. Think about that, think about how your relationships could change if you just thought about that once a day, every day. Think about just one person and how you could just reach out to them and touch them. There was, what was it, a commercial a long time ago or something that was like, reach out and touch someone, or a song or something. I don't know. I don't remember where I remember that phrase from, but that's it. Reach out and touch someone, whether it's physically or technology or whatever, or paper, but reach out and touch someone and think about that every day. And imagine, 30 days, you've reached out to 30 people. A year, you've reached out to 365 people. And how many people, that possibly have you lost in your life that you said, I wish I would have told them.
Right.
Right.
You're so right. Do whatever it takes at the moment. The other day, someone was talking to me or texting me, and I wanted to send them a video, and I hit the video while I was like, not doing anything that was ready. I wasn't ready. But then I got in the car and I answered her with a video from my phone and said, this is a message I wanted you to know. I'm in the car. I'm on my way to my moksha. And I wanted to do that instead of, it was too hard to text and type. It was, so if no matter what you can think of, do a 30-second video and then sit down and go find something meaningful and craft it, whether it's on paper or sending a card or however you want to do that, or draw a painting, put something together, mail it to someone, really give them something they can hold on to, because you don't know what's going to happen the next minute. So make it last, right? Do it. Just do it and make it last, and don't hesitate, because seize the moment. The moment is now. And I don't know if the moment is now for us to talk a little bit about the future, but maybe we should, because it's 10:14. I wanted to talk a little bit about our shows for the holidays and for the rest of the year, so our audience knows that we have a show scheduled for October. It's the 4th Tuesday of each month, and November. And let's talk about December so that our audience knows. The fourth Tuesday in December, is that, I don't have a calendar and I don't want to look at my phone. Do we know, is that the date that we're going to keep our show on the same day, the fourth Tuesday of December?
Yep, it's December 26th. So we will be able to share our holiday blessings.
Great. We've even had a show on Christmas. All right, on. We have never changed a show date. We've always kept it the fourth Tuesday. So I just wanted to make sure our audience knows that. Put that in your calendar. If you know someone who's going to be alone on December 26th, or you know someone who's having a party, either way, let them know that we're going to be airing our show. So we'll be celebrating the holidays. Maybe we should do something funny. I have something cute that I think I want to wear for that show, Laurie. I'll tell you later. You'll let me know what you think. So for next month, for the month after, for next year, can you tell our audience, how do they get on our show? What does someone do?
Yes, absolutely. So send us your stories. We're always looking to read people's gratitude stories. We love, 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 love to read them. So lots of people send us even stories over and over again, different stories, you know, because everybody has more than one story to be grateful for in their life, right?
Yes.
So go to our Facebook page is facebook.com/gratitudegirls and hit to message right there. That will send a copy to both of us automatically. And then we will get in touch with you to let you know when we can feature your story. And we are here every single month, the fourth Tuesday of every single month, 9:30 Eastern, 8:30 Central, 7:30 Mountain, and 6:30 Pacific.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Laurie, for a great show and for your time and for checking in and allowing us to check in with each other using our platform and really hang out together. It is a great hangout. Thank you so much. And to our audience, thank you for watching. We wouldn't be here if it weren't without you and your requests and your questions and your communication with us. So it is from my heart to yours, and Laurie, from my heart to yours. Thank you so much for a great show.
Thank you. Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night.